And welcome back to the Texas only challenge here on Madden 23, and we're going to start off with some trades. Last episode, the first episode, didn't go extremely well. We went, I want to say 1-5 or 1-6. But with the play we saw from the offense, we know we need a second guy for Tannehill to try to get the ball to. And while there are a couple really good options towards the top with Mike Evans out of Texas A&M, they won a lot for him. I want to say it was one first-round pick the first year and then both of my first-round picks next year. So we're not doing that for Evans. There's a couple other guys lower in the 80s, about mid to low 80s, with an 84 Christian Kirk, also out of Texas A&M. And he's okay. They did want quite a bit for him as well, and he doesn't have great release. As I go over to the release, 76. Not great if he's going to be our number one receiver. But if we go down just a little bit more, we will find Courtland Sutton out of SMU. Has speed, has the route running, and he has much better release. Plus, he's also still pretty young, 26 years old. In his 5th year in the NFL, he has 84 release, solid route running across the board, really good hands. This looks more like a number one receiver to me. And we already off camera checked to see what the trades would be, and I'm using the actual get offers. I'm not trying to, max min? Is that what the term is? Maybe, I don't know. But we're not trying to cheat the system here. We're going to see what they want. And they're asking for William Jackson III. Now, technically, he is our highest rated corner, but he's 29 years old. And sometimes with corners, they can regress pretty hard. So I would like to get younger at corner. And there are, I want to say 2 or 3 first to second round corners in the draft class. So we have potential to get really young there and potentially still stay fairly even, depending on how those guys end up panning out. We could also give a current 2nd and 7, but I think I want to go William Jackson. A player for a player, similar overall. That's the route we're going to go. We've brought in a new receiver in Courtland Sutton, but we're not done yet. The defense also really struggled last episode. You could say they're one of the bigger reasons that we only won one game. Offense still struggled, but defense really didn't play very well. I looked at middle linebacker because we could really use help there. Unfortunately, there was nothing. There was one player who I didn't think would really be an upgrade, and he was injured, so we couldn't trade for him. So instead, I'm going to focus towards the defensive line, where they really were a letdown. I expected them to play better, and they really haven't, and that includes Von Miller. I don't think he's performed as well as he should, being a superstar X Factor and I think a 94 overall. So I want to get younger, and we could definitely do that here with Ed Oliver. 24 years old in his 4th season out of Houston. He's pretty well balanced in the terms of he has a more dominant pass rush move and pretty decent in the run stop with speed, with strength. All around, he is a solid guy. When we do the same thing, get the offers, we see, well, now they want Courtland Sutton. But this is the one I was more interested in. Jordan Hicks and Kevontae Turpin. We moved Turpin from receiver to running back. He really hasn't seen the field very often, and we run primarily more of a power run scheme. So he was only going to be kind of a jet sweep, swing pass kind of guy, which isn't really in a lot of the playbooks for power running. So he doesn't make sense to be on the team. Jordan Hicks hasn't played very well. He's also up in age. I wanted to replace him anyway. Won't be able to do that in this season, but I think this is a solid option for us. We get to keep all of our draft picks because they wanted a future 2 and a 7. I think it would make more sense to go ahead and move on Hicks. And Turpin maybe would fit the scheme better with the Cardinals. Actually, he would definitely fit the scheme better with the Cardinals. So we'll make that move as well. So at receiver, that now leaves us with Courtland Sutton on the outside, Devin Duvernay, who was really good for us in that first episode, so he will definitely stay one of the main guys. Marquise Godwin is on the older side. Josh Reynolds, we really didn't see do all too much, but he has better side for the outside. I think Marquise Goodwin, did I say Godwin? I don't know if I did earlier. Marquise Goodwin, I think we try to move him on for maybe some extra depth kind of picks, maybe a 5th or a 6th if that's possible. As for the defensive line, Von Miller, like I said, I really don't feel like he's been playing all too well. And with the addition of Ed Oliver, who's more of an outside guy, he could definitely play on the inside. He has the strength to do so, but the size I think would make more sense on the outside. So Poona Ford will still stay on the inside. So that means we have to do one of two things. We either start Ed Oliver over Charles Omenihu, who could progress and still get better. He is on the younger side, only in his 4th season. Or we go ahead and also try to trade away Von Miller, who's in his 12th season and could very well retire after the first season. I don't think we're going to make it to the Super Bowl, barring a miraculous recovery in the second half of the season. So I think it makes more sense to go ahead and keep the younger guys, being Omenihu and Ed Oliver, and go ahead and move on the vet for whatever picks we can get. So let's try to trade away some players now. And I think a good spot for Goodwin to land would be with the Seahawks, as the wide receiver group is their number one draft need or team needs. I'm only asking for a 5th round pick. They're not very interested with the red flag, I guess you could say, on his player icon, but I think it would be the best fit, so we'll give it a go. And yeah, they think it's good too. So we go ahead and unload him, bring in another 5. And now for Von Miller. I think we found a pretty good fit for him. Being that this could be his last and final year, I wanted to make sure he was going to a team that is competing for a spot in the playoffs, chance at the Super Bowl. They're currently slated to have the last pick in the 1st round, which means they're currently the best team in the NFL. Their defensive line, though, is pretty weak. They have one guy on the interior. They have some good edge rush guys, which Von Miller is more of an edge rush guy, but I still think he could help them out. So what I'm going to ask for, at least to start off with, this might be a bit too much, is a current 2 and a 5 and a future 3. Might be a bit heavy. I definitely don't think we could get a 1st round pick for Von Miller, but I think this is maybe within the range of possibility. So we will submit the offer, and yeah, they take it. Sounds good to me. So we now have 3 spots open on roster, and we're still pretty good at running back. We can maybe bring in one. I think we do need to bring in another middle linebacker, at least for depth. And we could potentially use another corner. So let's see what's available. And to help fill out depth at the linebacker spot, we're going to bring in Sam Eguavoen. That's what Google told me how to pronounce it. It might be wrong. Don't know. He's strictly a run stopper. Definitely doesn't provide any sort of cover ability. We might have to bring down a safety when we go to nickel, just because we do not have much of any sort of cover guys on the roster, but we need some depth, and he's from Texas Tech, and he's the highest rated guy from one of the Texas schools. So we're going to bring him in, again, strictly for depth. And some more depth for the cornerback spot. We'll bring in the veteran DJ Hayden. Pretty close to the 90 speed acceleration, also fairly close. Agility is still at the 90 spot. He does have good press. His cover ability is definitely going down, but again, will provide depth for us pretty cheap, and it'll just be for the remainder of the season. So DJ Hayden is in. And we're just going to keep that last roster spot open in case an injury pops up. Now, before we jumped into the first game here against the Tennessee Titans, where hopefully we're going to play a little bit better than we did last week, we do have a breakout opportunity for one of our linebackers. And it's for, I think I said Terrell last episode. It might be Terrell Bernard. He's the rookie. He had a pretty good game. Coach, I got to commend you on the game plan last week. The front 7 absolutely dominated their blockers, and it was one of the best performances I've ever had. If you can put together another game like that against the Titans, it'll go a long way towards establishing me as a leader on this team. And with trading away Hicks, he is our starting middle linebacker in the nickel, so he's going to have all the opportunity. Really hope he capitalizes on it. We're going to have to hold the Titans to less than 250 total yards, or individually, Bernard will have to have 1 interception, forced fumble, tackle for a loss, or sack. He has the opportunity, like I mentioned. Now it's just time to see if he capitalizes on that. And we'll be starting off on offense. Checking out the new playbook. We're going to run the Kansas City playbook today. See if that improves the offense a little bit as we hook up with Swaim here. Catch, gain of 5. And apparently what the Kansas City playbook does is uses some run, but primarily looks to throw intermediate or deep. Haven't seen intermediate so far, but that was definitely an inaccurate pass. We'll bring up 3rd and 5. We'll probably see primarily shotgun formations. At least that's what it looked like. That's where the majority of plays are. We go with a swing route to the outside. Duvernay with the catch, converting on 3rd and short. Might actually be short or 3rd and medium rather than 3rd and short. But either way, 1st down. Here's we have 2 up top, 1 to the bottom. Tannehill with another quick throw, caught by number 8. Is that our new receiver? No, that's Reynolds. I already forgot the the numbers of the players. That's a nice grab for him. He will be getting the start on the outside whenever we come out in a 3-receiver set. We'll look for Jones here in his first carry, not getting anywhere. We saw that a little too often last week that he wasn't finding the space, and he should because he's a highly rated running back and he has a pretty good offensive line. But he just really hasn't found much. We get a nice gain of 7 there on 2nd and 10. Swaim once again. Setting up 3rd and 3, a heavy tight end set with a fullback. Jones had all that space and just nothing. Maybe we should have traded him. 4th and 2, I want to jump in. I feel like we could potentially take the field goal, but we're just at that spot of the field. You really want to make sure you get more than just a field goal, and we will convert. That was a much better run. That's just what we need to see from Jones from here on out. And if we don't see that improvement throughout the remainder of this season, maybe we trade him in the offseason. It's not worth to have a 90-something overall running back who just lets Tavai run straight at Tannehill. Be a loss of 8. And definitely expected Aaron Jones to play a lot better. Whenever I've played against him in other franchises, he plays really well. He is versatile in the deep passing game here. What a snag! That, I believe, is our new receiver, Cortland Sutton, down to the 5. But what I was trying to say is Jones is versatile, can be a part of the run game and the pass game, and no lead block there from our fullback. Daniil Hunter, big loss on the play. We'll bring up 2nd and goal from the 11. I believe that was about a 6-yard loss. It'll be a draw for about 2 yards. So who knows, maybe we'll give some of the backup running backs a chance. We have, I want to say, Jeff Wilson III, and honestly can't remember who our 3rd string is, as we do find Reynolds will be a short gain. 4th and goal at the 3. I kind of want to go for it. I mean, we are sitting at about the halfway point of the season, and we have 1 win, so why not? Go to the outside here. Duvernay can't grab it. That pass a little too far out in front. It'll be a turnover on downs. And I believed I mentioned it towards the end of last episode with how the first half of the season went. Only 1 win. Most likely we'll be getting through the remainder of season 1 in this episode, but that's going to be a pick 6 for number 6. Who is it? Diggs? Quandre Diggs, I believe, our safety. Right place, right time. But we're on the board. Well, it's not exactly how you draw it up, but if it works, it works. We'll jump into some quicker sim here. Zach Wilson, the quarterback for the Titans, as they convert to Devontae Parker on 3rd and 5. Keenan Allen gets a nice gain. Gesicki, they have some nice receiving targets here for Wilson. Donovan Peoples-Jones is all right. Josh Jacobs, a really good running back, loses 3 on the play as we hit the 2nd quarter. Game still 7-0, but they get into plus territory and 27 yards into the red zone. It'll be a sack. Ed Oliver, his first game with us and already on the board. I'm sure some of you might not have liked the Von Miller trade, but I think it was worth it. We got a lot more picks as they get a field goal to make it 7-3. But we get some picks, we get younger. Like I said, we're not really going anywhere this year, at least at the rate we have been playing. And Von Miller could very well retire after season 1. So it made sense to try to get younger as we're finally seeing some running room here from Aaron Jones. Back-to-back 7-yard runs. 3rd and short. He'll get 9. That is what we need to see consistently from is Michael Pierce. Maybe jumps off sides. 1st and 5 we throw away. 2nd and 5, a 1-yard rush. 3rd and 4, we get 8. Reynolds converts as we get towards the red zone, now into the red zone. Let's jump in and watch the remaining part of this drive, hopefully ending with an offensive touchdown. So we'll come out shotgun, bunch to the bottom. Our tight end Swaim just to the top, or it might be Ricky Seals actually. Tannehill in the pocket, pass rush coming in. We'll get rid of it and throw it away. Smart choice. Tannehill is 10 of 14 for 107 yards already today, which is a big improvement with the new offensive playbook. We get a quick pass to the bottom. Swaim with the catch, trying to roll over the defender, and they call it short. 3rd and inches. But yeah, I'm really hoping the new playbook revitalizes this offense, because they should have been playing a lot better than they have been. Tannehill, pass rush coming in. We get a pickup, but we throw it out of the back. I want to go for it again. And it's big on big. And we're going to hand it off to a big. Our fullback back down the middle, plowing through. And I assume down to the 1, maybe a few inches shy of the goal line. That was actually a really good push by the line. But we'll give it back to the Sim here for 1st and goal. I would love that little zig route to the top like what we saw in the Super Bowl. But it's not what we're going with. Instead, jet sweep. Courtland Sutton cuts back in, and it's a jet sweep receiver dive into the end zone. Courtland Sutton scoring in his first game with the team, already making big plays. And with about a minute and a half-ish, 19 yards to Donovan Peoples-Jones, but with about a minute and a half, we'll jump to the quicker Sim here. Okay, getting some sacks today. I like to see it. We didn't see all too many of them in the first episode, at least in the Sims there were, but not while we were watching. As the defense gets a stop as well. Can the offense get some points on the board here? We only have 1 timeout remaining. Get 8 yards there, 2nd and 2. Pass knocked away by Trey Flowers. About 45 seconds, and we're way downfield. Okay, thank you, Byron Jones. Let's jump in. But apparently it was intercepted? Did I not read that correctly? I might have not read it correctly. They're going to set up a receiver screen. Going to Josh Jacobs as a flag comes down late. Well, that'll go ahead and back him up. I'll take it. So yeah, not sure exactly what happened there. I could have just not read the thing correctly. I thought it said knock away or just the penalty. But somehow they had the ball. 1st and 13, Zach Wilson scrambling to the bottom. Not a great pursuit angle there from number 22, but he makes up for it, bringing him down at about the line of scrimmage. 24 seconds left on the clock. Empty set here for the Titans. Trips up top, 2 to the bottom. We'll see what Wilson goes to the outside. Josh Jacobs with about a 5-yard gain. They end up using one of their last remaining tight ends, one more for 3rd and 5. A tight single back set. Wilson dropping back will go to the bottom. It will be a 1st down catch by Gesicki. And with probably 2 plays left in the half, same formation here. Wilson gonna roll to the top, gets by our edge, will throw late, and almost a really good adjustment there by one of their other tight ends, but it hits the turf. So we might still have 2 more plays, depends on how long this one takes. A bunch look to the top, 1 lone receiver to the bottom here for Wilson in shotgun. We'll go with a quick dump off, intercepted. Is that, yeah, that is Bernard. That's all we need. He's gonna go up to, I think, a star or a superstar. I wanna say star with just needing the 1 thing, but that complete, we're good. That also could very well put him into being one of our focus players as we get to halftime here. Continuing on, Kansas City, not Kansas City, that's our offensive playbook. Tennessee Titans should get the ball to start off with a 9-yard rush by Jacobs, followed by 28 yards, Keenan Allen. They're still down 2 possessions, looking like they might end this possession with some more points, at least by the way it's been going so far. Defense not doing great as they're down inside the 15, pass thrown away. 2nd and 10, 5 yards, gets them inside the 10. 3rd and 5, touchdown Keenan Allen. We'll draw this game a little bit closer, especially with the 2-point conversion. It's now a field goal game. So we'll watch this possession of offense. Haven't seen our offense out there all too much. I think just 1 drive. 2 up top, 1 to the bottom for Tannehill, sitting in the shotgun set. Will be a play action, and we get that ball off deep. Knocked away, intended for Courtland Sutton once again. And Tannehill still has a pretty decent arm, decent accuracies. Obviously, Courtland Sutton has a good release rating and some good route running, so we should be able to find him quite open, just like that, in the intermediate range up to about the 42. He's definitely taken over that number one receiver spot for us. We need to get Duvernay back involved in what? There was about a 10-yard gap for Jones to run through, and he just runs into the lineman. I don't get it. He definitely, I think, is on my list to be a trade candidate come the offseason. Let me know what you guys think down below. Always want to take in your guys' thoughts as the jet sweep doesn't go anywhere, but a broken tackle, and he's like, you want to trade me after this run? We'll see. But that matchup I've seen all too often. Aaron Jones, Danielle Hunter, as we almost have a Danielle Hunter play blown up once again, but we somehow get it to Swain, break a couple tackles, barely squeeze out another first. So we're not playing perfect football, but we're doing enough right now. As Jones finds some space down the middle, we'll get actually 7. Okay. Thought that was going to be a gain of about 4, maybe 5, but no. He gets more as we come out empty set here for 2nd and 3. Tannehill in the pocket will go up to the top. Caught Cortland Sutton at about the 9. He already has one touch. Not one touch. I could have sworn he had a touchdown earlier. Who had our touchdown? Now I'm just confused. I'm going to have to see it when I go through the editing. Duvernay with the catch to the 5. Yeah, I could have sworn it was Cortland Sutton, and then we had the pick 6 by Quandre Diggs. So stats not showing correctly up top as that run goes nowhere. Will maybe be loss of a half a yard. Michael Pierce there, so they have half of the Vikings defensive line from at least earlier in the season. 3rd and goal here. Tannehill underneath. Not going to be a second touchdown intended for Sutton. I do want us to go for this, though. A field goal keeps it a 1-score game. A touchdown will make it 2. We have 2 receivers to the left, 1 to the right. We're going to run the slants. Underneath we go. Cortland Sutton does get his 2nd, and we will take a 2-touchdown, touchdown and a field goal. We take 2-possession lead. Not too bad of a debut for Sutton. And the defense, who only had 1 guy brought in, Ed Oliver, he shows up when we talk about him. 2nd sack of the day. Keeping up with the progress that or not really progress, but the rate of success we're seeing from Von Miller at a much lower overall and a much younger age. As we don't get the stop here on 4th and 2, they convert with a 4-yard rush, 15 yards to Devontae Parker. But the defense playing surprisingly well for getting worse at middle linebacker and getting worse in the cornerback group. We do give up 2 4th down conversions on this drive, but overall, I still have to think we're doing pretty well considering the talent we are going up against, although they just score. Gesicki with a touchdown, once again making this a field goal game. We're going to need to see if our offense can put together a solid drive here, try to run out the clock, and we'll start with the quicker sim. 25 yards to Reynolds is nice, passing midfield, doesn't drain the clock, but it is nice. Byron Jones actually knocks that one away, not a turnover. 4-yard rush, setting up 3rd and 4 and 4th and 6 at midfield. I kind of want to go for it, so we're going to do it. Like I mentioned earlier in the episode, we have only won 1 game. We're about halfway through the season, so it really doesn't make sense to not try to go for it as we're going to find Sutton once again. He's looking for the hat trick into the end zone, sliding down. How about a 4th and 6? Going for 6 more points on the board. So I've definitely made some iffy trades before in these state-only challenges, but the ones made today seem to definitely be working as we're currently up by 10. 3.5 minutes left on the clock. Zach Wilson about at midfield. 3rd and 5, he throws it away. 4th and possible game, he converts by 2 extra yards. And another rush, a 4. Another throwaway. He seems like he's trying to do it all himself here. Another 4th and 6. And they missed the field goal. We take over on offense, looking to milk the clock here. Aaron Jones gain a 3, followed by 8. Would give us a 1st down. And we're also under the 2-minute warning, continuing to just drain this clock. Titans have no timeouts remaining as we do get the final 1st down we need. we could go ahead and kneel it on out from here, winning our second game of the season. That is nice. That really shows change of playbook works. The few trades we made also really worked. We get the 28-18 victory, defeating a pretty good Titans offense. Zach Wilson, but he had a lot of good weapons out there, and our defense was able to corral it. And for some reason, they're not giving Bernard his boost, even though he had an interception in this game, and that was one of the things he needed. So I'm going to double check, but if he was supposed to get that and he didn't, Madden didn't give it to him, I'll just change that myself. And just for the proof, it said he needed one interception. He had one interception in this game. So I will go in and I will boost the development rate of Bernard. We're going to miss out on the XP gain from it, which is really unfortunate. I think it's typically, 10,000 points. I don't know if that would have given him an upgrade. Possibly could have given him multiple upgrades. Just with it, it's Madden. And as I pull up his card here, look underneath his 96 or 69 overall, getting the 10,000 experience points probably would have given him 2 upgrades. So I think what we'll do, and I'll do it on camera so you see everything that I'm doing here, is I think we will boost a couple of the stats, the ratings, by a couple, not by much, but I just want to show you so you know what we're doing. I would have put both of those upgrades into pass coverage because that is something that we severely struggle with. So let me just find it. Yeah, we really struggle with pass coverage for our linebackers. So this is all I'm going to do. Zone and man coverage, I'm going to plus by 2 because it would have had 2 upgrades. So we're just plussing both of them by 1 for each of his upgrades that he should have gotten. In addition, we will go ahead and also move up his development from normal up to a star. Because again, he should have got it. He had the stats he needed to, but Madden's broke. So those are the adjustments. I'll save it. Nothing else is done. Now, unfortunately, since that Titans game, this team just could not find their fitting. They ended up going on a 5-game losing streak where they gave up a lot of points. I would say about 30 on average, maybe a little bit higher than that, with the lowest being 27 and the highest being 56. But most of them were in the 30s. We had another 45. The offense was scoring a little bit in these games. We had 31 points against the Giants, who at that time were undefeated. We scored 46 against the Browns, but it just wasn't enough. We finally got a win on the board against the Cowboys. 28-25 was a close win. Of course, we then dropped the next 2 games, with the starters finishing their season, at least majority of them, with a win against the Jaguars in Week 17 in blowout fashion too, 38-14. And in this game, Poona Ford actually got a development boost up to a star, and I was incorrect earlier. When you get that dev boost up to the star, you get 20,000 experience points. So we would have had 4 upgrades for Bernard. We ended up just raising a rating up 4 points, 2 for zone, 2 for man. If you think that he should have a little bit more, you feel free to let me know in the comment section below, and I could definitely do it, and I'll show it in the off-season video that will be up later this week on Saturday. But I do want to take a quick look at the game here against the Jaguars and see what we were able to do. 230, 2 touchdowns for Tannehill, sacked once and completed 64% of his passes. Rushing game, really good game there from Aaron Jones, averaged just under 9 yards a carry, 2 touchdowns. Duvernay even had a rushing touchdown. Receiving game, Duvernay also had a touchdown off of 5 catches, 80 yards. Jeff Swaim, 58 yards and a touchdown. Not a whole lot there from Sutton, and a few other guys got a couple catches. Defensively, Terrell Bernard played really well this year. I think he's up to about a 71, maybe 72. Started, I want to say around 66 perhaps. So really good season for him. He did have a tackle for a loss, but we were led by Poona Ford with 3. And then Kohu, we've actually, for a majority of this season, have started 2 corners that are rookies on the outside. So it was a possible reason why we gave up about 30 points a game. Bernard got a sack as well as half of one for Amenahu and Oliver. And then interception-wise, we had two, one for Kohu and one for Wilson. I don't feel like I saw a lot of Wilson this year, but we'll take a look at the stats after this final game. And kicking-wise, Justin Tucker, 100%, expect nothing less. So we will wrap up Season 1 watching this game here against the Colts. I'm going to play all the young guys. I don't care what their ratings are, just the young guys are playing. I want to see who has a shot of being someone who we could try to build around with this Texas-only team. So let's jump into this last game. Let's see what they got. And we'll be starting out on defense. Like I said, most of all of the young guys are out there, if not all of the young guys are out there. Doesn't matter what their overall is, and there's a decent play. We actually get a broken up pass by number 43, one of the sub backers. That might be Bernard, who's still out there. Somehow I don't know what his number is, even though he's been our best linebacker, as 41 is definitely one of the new guys out there. He'll give up that catch for a first down as Winston, the quarterback here for the Colts. And I know they have a really good running back, although a pretty good running back, but I can't remember who it is. They go the swing, not a swing, it's actually a drag route. 41's there for another tackle, just past the line of scrimmage. So that's apparently what his specialty is. That was Christian Watson with the catch and the first down as they go the stretch to the bottom with some open space to the outside. Another first down gain. Finally pushed out by Washington. Well, definitely not seeing anything so far from the defense. Hopefully they'll improve as the game goes along. Back-to-back stretches, and they sealed the edge just in time. Will be a gain of 8 for Herbert. Looks like we might be bringing the blitz here on 2nd and 2. No, we back out into coverage, and there's a nice play in the middle. Number 93 gets a stop, forcing 3rd and inches. That was Graham. I believe that is one of our interior defensive linemen. Kind of a mixture of a little bit of a pass rush, but mostly going to be a run stopper. Doesn't help here, though, because that's Herbert with the catch for the first down inside the 15. And we won't watch every single play. It'll be pretty similar to the first game where we watch some of it, sim some of it. Nice tackle in the middle there from another one of our backup linebackers. That one is Wallow. We'll bring up 2nd and 8. Pass here from Winston, going to roll to the bottom. Pass rush on its way, will at least force a bad pass. So on 3rd and 8, they'll come out with a bunch to the bottom. One receiver up top, Winston back in shotgun. Herbert will swing out to the top, sitting in the pocket, gonna try to roll, and there's a sack down the middle, number 90. That is the rookie Hall. He was a backup for us at both end spots throughout the year. Never really got a shot to get out there much, but it's nice to see him making a play. As expected, they will send out the field goal unit. This would be about a 35-yarder, just shy of a 35-yarder, maybe 34. Perfect, right down the middle. They'll grab 3. And your starting quarterback today, a Longhorn legend, Colt McCoy, will lead us out with 2 receivers up top, 1 to the bottom. His pass, first one going deep, and he overthrows, I believe that was Darden, by about 10 yards. Kind of a iffy pass there to follow up a legendary entrance. But I know I had to get Colt McCoy out here for at least one game. Like I said, he is a Longhorns legend. We'll see what he could do today with some of these younger receivers that we have out there. 3rd and 2 as he finds Ricky Seals-Jones. Not really a younger receiver, but just wanted to bring out some different guys. And there's a bunch of running room for Jeff Wilson, and a late flag comes in that might wipe it all out. What a shame on the young receiver in Jalen Guyton. We'll back it up. We'll have a new 1st and 10. 2 receivers up top, 1 to the bottom under center. We'll hand this one off, and not as much space there for Wilson, but still a solid gain of 4. Unfortunately for him, already huffing and puffing after having that big run called back. 2nd and 6. We'll hand it back off to him, though, and he will squeeze out a few more yards. So 3rd and 4 as we head into shotgun. Another 2 up top, 1 to the bottom. Seals-Jones just backed up off the line. Colt sitting in the pocket will go underneath, and not a great job on the outside. We'll go for it, though. 4th and 1, and I forgot that they have Aaron Donald. So let's check out of the run we were going to go with. We'll go with the pass out to Swaim, who actually holds on to it. I told him to throw it to the inside. He definitely threw it to the outside, but we have the first down, so I'm not going to complain. But Colt McCoy, not sure he'll be back on the team next year. There is a quarterback in the draft class that I would like to pick up, at least to start developing, as we find a receiver across the middle. Number 16 breaks a tackle, then takes a shot from number 4. But that'll get us down to the 24. That was Guyton with the catch. He did have a really big grab for us in the first episode. I believe he had the first touchdown of the series, at least if I'm remembering correctly. Colt McCoy pass rush coming in, got to get rid of it, and no, there's Aaron Donald. So that'll back us up a good bit. 2nd and 23 at the 37. Aaron Donald in his X Factor mode. We go with a quick pass thrown behind the receiver. Going to be picked off by number 30, and they'll take over at the 34. So we'll jump into some quicker sim here. At least get through the second quarter into the second half as a penalty on Williams, their youngest, actually no, not our youngest, but one of our younger corners. He's playing in the slot today. They get a big play down to the 20, then some more plays closer to the 10, and it's a touchdown, actually, Marvin Jones. So that was a pretty quick capitalization off the turnover. We'll start our second drive here on offense. 5 yards for Guyton. 2nd and 5, 12 yards to Seals Jones, who was in the running for a starting spot. I just don't think he was as well-rounded as Swaim was, so we ended up going with Swaim. Jeff Wilson running solidly so far. Honestly, looking very similar to what we got out of Aaron Jones. And here's a receiver I'm pretty interested in, Ezukanma, if I'm pronouncing that correctly. I'm probably not. Back-to-back plays. He has a nice frame to him and some decent ratings that I think we could develop. And an injury to Colt McCoy on the play, so his time out there did not last very long. So out comes Tannehill. Thought he was going to have the day off, but apparently not. 4th and 3. Where do we go here? We have a receiver open underneath. Can we find Darden? Yes, we can. He stays in bounds. We'll keep this drive going. And we'll actually go ahead and watch the rest of it as we come out here in the red zone. Empty set. 2 to the top, 3 to the bottom. Tannehill with the snap. Goes quick pass underneath. 81 with the catch, getting us down to the 10. And that is Seals Jones once again, having a pretty good day so far today. As we go with a toss over to Darden, who cuts back inside. Definitely should have stuck to the top with his speed. That would have been a touchdown. Instead, 1st and goal at the 5. We come out with the heavy goal line set. Beck back at fullback will help lead the way. As Wilson looking for 6 will come up a little bit short. 2nd and goal, down to the 2. About 2-minute warning as well. We'll hand this one off down the middle. Wilson is in. Tried to find the perfect gap. He just had to choose between 2 or 3 of them. And he'll get on the board. And he's been looking really solid. We might need to give him some more play time next season. Let's jump back on into that quicker sim. See what we're able to do here. Inside the 2-minute warning, 26 yards, Cooper Kupp. Okay, that's a big play. Dawson Knox gets 3. Thrown incomplete. 3rd and 7. 5 yards. Do they take the field goal? They do, and they hit it. About a minute and a half left on the clock. A little bit less. What can our offense do? A throwaway by Tannehill. 11 yards there to Jeff Wilson. There was an injury on the play. I think it was maybe a Colt. We do find Wilson again for 4. 20 yards to Guyton. Gets us past midfield. About 40 seconds left on the clock. We find Eric, just because I know how to pronounce that. Tannehill throws the ball away. 2nd and 10, 15 yards to Darden. With 20 seconds left on the board, let's jump in. Or apparently we shouldn't have because we didn't use our timeout. So into half we go and back into the sim. So let's see what we could do here to start the second half, trying to tie this game, actually take the lead. If we get the touchdown and an extra point. Eric, he's really showing up. Like I said, I was really interested in, so is Aaron Donald. But like I said, I was really interested in seeing how well he could do out there. Like I said, I like his frame. He has some solid ratings that we could try to build upon. Wilson also very similar with that penalty this time on Donald. Tried to jump the snap. Wilson with another gain of 6. Another penalty on Linval Joseph. They definitely have some goons in the middle. And Colt McCoy's back out there. So seems like He was all right. He has a 1-yard run, and Wilson has a 1-yard run. Knocked away from Donald. I want to go for it here. 4th and 7 at the 13. We're going to come out here with the empty set with Colt McCoy at quarterback. If only we had Shipley. How about a one-on-one Ricky Seals with a one-hand grab? Just mossed the corner. He's like, you guys should be playing me. I agree. He's good as a vertical tight end. And with Tucker's extra point, we take our first lead of the day, 14-13, especially with that tremendous catch by Ricky Seals. Wow, I already forgot his name. Ricky Seals with an amazing grab. As the Colts are looking to drive here, they have 2 good running backs, 23 yards. Marvin Jones striking again. Keeps getting some big plays. Dobbins, the gain of 7, will get 3. We'll convert that first down. Cooper Kupp loses 2. Then they'll get 3. 3rd and 9 down at the 12. They get 4. Do they take the field goal or go for it? They take the field goal and retake the lead, 16-14. Let's get into the 4th quarter here. We'll sim probably a decent bit of this drive. I was going to say until we get into plus territory. Almost did that in 1 play. We do it in 2. So let's watch the remainder of this drive. See if we could see some more touchdown, or see a touchdown by Eric, or just see if Ricky Seals continues to impress. Darden with the catch and then try to run backwards. Okay. We have a lot of guys on roster that fit that role that Darden is kind of playing, where he's a small slot kind of guy. I mean, it's pretty much what we have with Duvernay as well, who's played pretty well. He's a smaller frame receiver, but has some quickness, some agility to him. We have a 1st and 10 here. Colt McCoy motioning over Swaim, who checks in. Make it 3 receivers set down to the bottom as we get a pitch to the outside, and Jeff Wilson will get 3. Colts have themselves a pair of quick linebackers back there, which also looks like one of them is a safety, so that would explain that a little bit. 2nd and 7, go with a draw, and that is some fantastic blocking. I will say the offensive line is the starters. The 2 backups we had both got injured in practice this week, so it's just the starters playing. Granted, the starters are younger than the backups, so it fits well. We'll go with a run down the middle here. Wasn't sure if I was going to be a play action pass as Williams, the 3rd string running back, checks in. I want to say, was it Travion Williams? That sounds about right. As Darden with another quick toss will cut up and apparently won't get the first, a yard short. But we're looking like we're driving here with Colt McCoy and our young backups primarily. 3rd and 1. It will be a pass. Colt McCoy sitting in the pocket, waiting. We'll go across the middle, and there is Eric into the end zone. And I don't know how to pronounce your last name correctly, so I'm just not going to. But there's a touchdown for the young, promising receiver. And I definitely feel like receiver is one of those positions we don't need to worry about too much when we get to the offseason, especially after bringing in Cortland Sutton with the trade this episode. I feel like that really well rounded out the receiving core. We have our number 1 guy, and we have some young guys I really want to try to develop. If we could only stop them from getting these 20-yard plays like what Dawson Knox just did. Wow. Speak properly. Our Darius Washington knocks the pass away. They are close to the red zone, 3rd and 10 into the red zone, but with a 4th and 3. They go for it and they convert, so I assume touchdown on this play. Yep, it's like I know Madden or something. So that will give them the... Was it called back? Because now they have a rushing... I am very confused. Either way, they have the lead, but they did fail the 2-point conversion. So it is a 1-point game right now. We'll start with a quick sim here, see if we could get into plus territory. Guyton with 7 gets a first down. And then Aaron Donald with a sack. 3rd and 18 we have a throwaway, another throwaway, 4th and 18, we'll jump in. So who do we go for here? Eric on the left-hand side, Guyton going deep. We know we've hit him deep before. Darden on a deep post route. Seals Jones will be sitting underneath. Looks like we're going to go Darden's way. That pass overthrown. Jesse Bates will pick that one off. Unless our defense gets a stop, this season might be over. And we'll see if we can get that stop in a quick fashion. Herbert starts with 7. 2nd and 3. Loss of 3. 3rd and 5, and they get 15. No timeouts remain. That will be the season. Unfortunately, Winston will go ahead and kneel this one out. We had 4 wins in total this year. Again, similarly to how I ended last episode, a bit disappointing with how high of an overall we started with, but there's definitely some guys on this team that we can build around. Some of them we didn't see till this last game. Like I said, Eric looks promising. I'm going to move him up in the depth chart. I want to see him get out on the field as an outside player. Defense definitely needs work, giving up a lot of points this season. I think that's going to be primarily where we focus in the draft. And with the season officially at its close, let's look through the stats, see what the team did overall. Ryan Tannehill, about 4,100 yards. He had 32 touchdowns. He had 23 interceptions. That's not good. 62% completion. I would like that to be a little bit higher, but I've seen worse. He was also sacked 37 times. That is way too many. But we have a pretty solid offensive line, so not sure what was up with them this year. Aaron Jones does get over the century mark, or not the century mark, over 1,000, whatever that would be. He actually has about 1,100, almost 1,200. 12 rushing touchdowns. He did fumble the ball twice, averaged just shy of 5 yards a carry. Again, when we watched, I don't think he was playing very well. He was making poor reads. He wasn't fumbling a lot, but we also didn't see him score a lot. I did like what Jeff Wilson did in the final game. During the season, though, he didn't have much. 3 touchdowns, averaged about 3 yards a carry, a little shy of 3 yards a carry, but didn't see a whole lot of total attempts. So we'll see what happens in the offseason. Aaron Jones could potentially be traded. You let me know what you think in the comment section below. Receiving-wise, Duvernay over 1,000, a little over 1,100 actually, and Sutton over 1,000. So we had 2 1,000-yard receivers. Some of that yardage from Sutton obviously was prior to when we traded for him, but he had 14 touchdowns on the year, leading our team. Duvernay had 12, so we have a solid 1-2 punch. I still think we need to develop a third receiver. I don't think Josh Reynolds is the answer going into his 6th season. I think next year we might actually start Eric, just because I think he has some really good ratings, good size. We saw what he did in 1 game, had a touchdown. I would like to see what he could do next season. A lot of the other guys are slot kind of guys like Jalen Darden, who played decent, actually played pretty well in that last game. Ricky Seals played well. He's more of a down the field tight end, not an every situation tight end. Kiki QT, didn't really see him much. He's may not be with the team next year. We'll see. Guyton made some splash plays here and there. But yeah, I don't think I've seen enough from Reynolds to say that he deserves to have a starting spot on the outside. So we'll see if Eric can compete for that spot next season. As for our blocking, Jake Matthews gave up the most sacks with 11, which is still less than 1 a game. No one averaged any more than that. And I believe Nsekhe was a backup and Hopkins was a backup. So all of our starting guys gave up at least a sack, with Eric McCoy being our best at left guard, only giving up 3. On defense, what a rookie year for Terrell Bernard. 112 total tackles, 5 tackles for a loss, 5 sacks, 2 interceptions. Did he force any fumbles or recover? No. Did he have any touchdowns? No. But still, that is some major production from a rookie. So really, really happy to see that. Who led us in tackles for a loss? That would be Ed Oliver with 17, closely followed by Poona Ford. That's actually a bit of a surprise. Omenahu had 8. Bernard, we saw, had 5, as well as Billings. 4 for Roberts, Adams, and Logan Hall. So he did get a decent amount of playing time at least. Wilson had 3, 2 for Woolen, Kohu, Diggs, and Howard, and then 1 for Washington, Johnson, Stewart, and Bradley King. Sack-wise, we really didn't have any dominant production here. And that's also why I traded away Von Miller, because he wasn't really producing a whole lot either. 6.5 for Oliver leads the team, 5 for Bernard, so he was our second best sack artist too. Really good rookie year. Omenahu had 4.5, 3 for Poona Ford, 2.5 for Billings, 2 for Roberts and Graham, and then 1 for Logan Hall. And I had mentioned earlier, I didn't think Wilson was doing much this year. He actually led us in interceptions, so I take that back. But as 2 starting outside rookie corners, Have to give it to Woolen. I want to say he had 4 or maybe 5 in real life. He had 3 for us here. Kohu also had 3. Bernard 2, as well as Diggs. And then Sam had 1 because I know I'm going to mispronounce that even though I looked it up earlier today. And kicking wise, nothing but the best from Justin Tucker. 50 of 50 on extra points, 17 of 17 on field goals. And if you care about punting, Dixon actually did pretty good. Averaged about 55 yards a punt. Solid. And actually, we had a kick return, must have been in a sim game, Travion Williams. Okay, shout out. No punt returns, though. But like I said, that ends season 1. We go 4-13, which is about on par with what the first couple state-only challenges finished year 1 with. So plenty of room to go to improve. We still have till the end of season 5 to win a Super Bowl. Hopefully it doesn't take that long. But Saturday will be a big day, our first off season. Free agents, the draft. We'll talk about the prospects as well. So make sure you guys subscribe so you don't miss out and tick that little bell icon to be notified of when my videos go live. This series posted every Wednesday and Saturday. I also have a Commanders Replacement Squad series that we play every single play, a more traditional franchise playthrough. That is posted every Monday and Thursday, so make sure you check that one out as well. And until next time, well, technically it'll be tomorrow with the Commanders, or Saturday, if you guys don't want to watch that, but you should. Saturday with the off season. We'll see you guys later. Bye.